Oh, hello, kids. No time for that. Let's go.
All week long.
Bang, bang goes the gavel. And hello to each and every one of you. Welcome to We Got a Case. This is where you're going to see live cases happening as we speak. A lot of times we can pause, a lot of times we can't. But we're going to get into something. I rewound it just a little bit. It just started. It may end before we finish it, which is completely possible because when you're dealing with things that are live, they can cut it at any time. But I wanted to jump on, see what we could do with it. When it's just me, I can jump on whenever. So it's your pleasure. Let's get on into this case to see what we are dealing with today. I'll say hello as I can.
Facts of this case is just to say that the testimony that would be given in your two cases, Mr. Green, would substantially overlap with the testimony that would be given in your two cases, Miss Woods. Each petition for each case is considered on its own merits, and it is granted or denied on its own merits. I think
His
the
hair's
most
about as
effective
good
and
as mine
efficient
is
way to
today.
handle this business in court is to combine these hearings and hear them as one. And what that means is I would hear from each of the petitioners. And when each of the petitioners had finished testifying, and if they had other witnesses, finished calling any witnesses they intended to call, each respondent would have the opportunity to suggest questions if they wish to suggest questions, just as they would if the hearing were handled individually. And then the case would turn to the respondents, where each respondent can make a choice as to whether to testify or not, whether to call other witnesses or not. I do want to let the witnesses, or excuse me, the respondents know that we did have the witness that you identified earlier log on. However, they were not able to activate video and audio, and so we returned them to the waiting room before we brought you in. So if you have the ability to text that person, for example, you may want to request that they log out of the hearing and log back in, and that they confirm that their video is
there a
functional
reason
and
Mr.
not being
Green
used by any other apps.
or Mrs. Green is bundled up like that?
Mr. Green, your name happens to be the first name on my list just by virtue of the case number that you were assigned. I'm going to send you a prompt to unmute.
What are we doing? Why are we bundled up like that next to the
There we
Christmas
go.
tree? The
And I'll
mask
ask
on.
if you would please raise your right hand for me. Do you swear that any statements you make to the court today will be the truth under penalty of perjury?
Good to see everybody.
Yes.
Thank you. You can put your hand down if you'd like. Mr. Green, you heard my plan for essentially combining these two hearings so that we could hear the testimony from both petitioners and then hear the testimony for the respondent's case. Do you have any objection to me handling the hearing in that order? With both with yours and Ms. Woods's petitions and testimony essentially combined?
He got nuclear waste for Christmas.
That's fine.
Okay. All right, I'm going to place you back on mute for a moment, Mr. Green, partly because I think you and Miss Woods, the audio can echo. And so Miss Woods, you
They're
have
in the
a prompt
same
to unmute
house,
there.
Woods and Green Woods.
You were able to hear my plan as to how to proceed. Are you comfortable handling the hearing in that manner?
So we're doing something a little different. He had
All
to
right,
explain
and could
everything
you
to
go ahead and
everybody.
raise your right hand for me, please. Do you swear that any statements you make to the court today will be the truth under penalty of perjury?
Is she holding a dog or
Thank
a
you very
baby?
much. You can put your hand down. I'll place you on mute for a moment to address our
Oh,
respondents.
it's a baby. I couldn't tell which
All
one
right,
it was.
Mr. Hall, I have your name first on my list among the respondents, just by virtue of how the case numbers were assigned, and you have unmuted. Could I have you raise your right hand for me, please? If you choose to testify today, do you swear any statements you make to the court will
All
be
right,
the
so,
truth under penalty?
Like I said, we rolled it back a little bit. Everybody's getting sworn in at this time. He's hearing basically two different petitioners, I guess, that are all on the same case. He's kind of doing things a little bit differently. He's bringing them all together for one big shot. He's going to take he's calling his shot and he's going to go for it. So, like I said, again, this is happening live. Had to roll it back so we could get all the players involved. So I'm going to be quiet as much as I can.
Thing to whatever extent, and is simply a question whether they can prove it is more likely than not. Neither of you is under any obligation to present testimony should you choose not to, or should you choose to exercise any Fifth Amendment right against self-incrimination. Mr. Hall, I'm going to place you briefly back on mute and turn to Mr. Simmons. Mr. Simmons, if you would, you can unmute and raise your right hand for me, please. Do you swear the statements you make to the court will be the truth under penalty of perjury?
Yes.
Thank you. You can put your hand down if you'd like.
Mavis.
And are you comfortable handling these two hearings essentially in conjunction
So
with each other?
back-to-back
that the
hearings.
Parties can each testify one time as opposed to multiple times.
This could be long.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Very good. And so to further explain the roadmap for everybody today, since it is the petitioner's case and their burden of proof, I will hear from the petitioners and hear from their witnesses if they have any. After each person finishes providing their testimony, then each respondent will have an opportunity to suggest questions if they believe questions are appropriate and helpful to resolving the case. Understand that we have reached this point, we have come this far because the version of events alleged by the petitioner and the version of the events experienced by the respondent are not the same. And so to the extent that the parties might disagree about facts,
He's not up there.
you can try to ask questions, but please try to think about whether that would just be best handled through your own testimony or whether there are questions that are helpful. And the other thing that I really want to stress is that the period for questions really needs to be questions. Oftentimes people will have a paragraph full of statements and then maybe something at the end along the lines of, isn't that right? And that unfortunately is not really the type of questioning that.
All right, so he's giving them the lowdown on questioning one another too.
Use
So
that period for specific questions about specific
that
things.
should be interesting.
To hopefully find some common ground we agree on as we move through the hearing to help resolve issues of fact. And then at the end of the hearing, I apply the facts to the law and we'll make a decision on each of these four
I feel like I
petitions. So, Mr. Green, I'm sending you a prompt to unmute since you have our lowest case numbers, and that means you're
All right,
first on the
Mr.
calendar.
Green, you're first up.
We will start with you today. I know that you're indoors with Miss Woods. I see that you're wearing a mask. Are you feeling okay today?
Yes, sir.
I just like the way
Okay.
it
I
looks.
was just at work.
Okay. So you have filed these two petitions. Tell me how you know Mr. Simmons and Mr. Hall.
Congratulations, Trolley
They're my
Podcast.
roommates.
What is the period of time that you two have lived together?
We lived together almost about a year and a half from a previous apartment before.
So you've lived together in multiple locations. is what you're saying.
Long-term roommates.
Just one before this, so yeah. Yeah, I
Okay,
guess.
so this is number two.
Yeah, this is two.
Understood. And
Judge don't have things to say.
the location that you two, the four of you were living at, I suspect. Well, I'll ask this just to get it out of the way. Did Miss
All-
Woods also live at this current location with the other three of you?
Yes, yes.
All four of
Okay.
them live together.
And
Okay,
is
we're
that
getting
location
somewhere.
in DeKalb County, Georgia.
Which one?
The
The other one?
location, the current location.
The color current? Yes.
Okay, and is that the Willow Ridge address?
Yes.
Okay. And has there been an act of violence or violent incident that led to you filing a petition?
Yes, this whole situation with my family.
Okay, and was there a particular day or incident or moment that it started?
What this whole everything before the stabbing?
The stabbing.
It's a little hard for me to ask because there's use your best judgment as to what is relevant to
So there was a
today's
stabbing.
determination. I can tell you that the facts that I have to decide, or the law that I have to decide this on, is a question of whether the petitioner has been a victim of family violence from
He's
the
wanted.
respondent, essentially, and whether this order will prevent that from happening in
So
the
we're looking for a
future. Those
protective
are the
order.
questions that I am tasked with answering.
12-monther.
So to the extent that there are things like, I don't want to oversimplify or diminish them by calling them roommate disputes, but there are some things that are disagreements that
Well, he's
would
gone
never be
completely
grounds for
now.
a protective order under any circumstances. However, the fact that there were tensions that escalated over time,
Who got stabbed?
that would kind of explain how you led to the more severe incident that resulted in this petition being filed. So
The stabbing.
Do you feel like your relationship with Mr. Hall and Mr. Simmons deteriorated over time?
I never had a relationship besides business. We were just roommates. Them and my girlfriend are the ones who had a relationship, like friendship.
Okay.
Okay, but you've been living with them for quite some time.
You know them,
Yeah.
right?
So, I mean, you have to interact with them and share space with them in some form or fashion.
Yeah, we was always good until bills just fell behind. Yeah.
Okay, and when did that start?
People get stabbed when bills fall behind.
September, maybe. September, October.
Okay, so we'll say fall. And when bills started to fall behind, what was happening?
What is she doing?
Nothing, we just got more distant. And,
Oh.
just like you said, disputes.
Okay. And was there a point that these things turned physical or threatening or dangerous?
Maybe once, but it never been physical between us.
He's so tired. Can we get Mr.
Okay,
Green a
and
pillow?
so what was the once?
The one before, I think the same day that the stabbing happened. Thomas was aggressive towards me that day, tried to fight me and was behind each other, There's a lot going on that day, but yeah.
Okay, Thomas.
Okay, and so when he was aggressive, what was he saying and doing?
All the aggressive things that could possibly be aggressive, like, just fighting things.
Like this and
Trying to get
this.
there.
That's not very
Okay.
How about some details?
And so what happened after he was doing that?
Aggressive stuff.
I leave.
Okay. Great witness, by the way.
I leave because I was afraid for my life.
There we
You
go.
said you left?
Yes.
Okay. And did he have a weapon or anything like that at the time?
He could have possibly.
Okay.
He was hot Henry, so I'm not sure.
I'm sorry, your audio cut just a bit there. He was what?
He was trying to get around Henry, so I'm not sure.
He had a pen.
Okay.
And he's like, what does that pen
All
say,
right.
Mr. Green?
And so were you saying there was a second incident besides that one?
Second incident, yes.
And what happened in that second incident?
It was about a dog cage.
A dog
Okay.
cage.
Cage being in the kitchen. So,
I mean, don't put a dog
So that
cage
was
in
what
the
it was
kitchen.
about and what happened.
Get stabbed.
that's what we've been arguing about mostly. That was the last argument we had, was about the dog cage.
Okay. And how did that argument resolve itself?
It didn't. I mean, everything that happened, everything led up to this. Like them stabbing my family in the chest, stabbing my family and friends.
Okay. Well, it sounds like that's what we're here to talk about.
It was a
talk me
mass
through what happened
Stabbing?
with the stabbing.
Tell you what happened with it?
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so Thomas Simmons' mother stabbed my child's mother in the chest in front of our children, and I was called after that to pick up my children.
Okay. So you were notified after it happened and weren't on scene at the moment.
Nope.
Okay. And when you say the mother of your child, are you referring to Miss Woods?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I always want to make, I know sometimes I ask some questions that seem a little ridiculous, but we always want to make it clear for the record that all parties are on the same page about who we're talking about, just in case there was any confusion. So, okay. And when you responded, you picked up your child, you said she was injured. Were you able to see where she was injured?
Yes, on her chest.
Okay.
They were. My auntie had slashes on her hand.
Now we're getting
On her
somewhere.
hand, going across, trying to stop the knife. She had a stab wound on her hand as well.
Is he not up there?
I seen all this when I got there. The paramedic guy. It was a paramedic. It was just walking me through it a little bit. But
And
yeah,
so did she have to be transported for treatment?
yes, she had to be transported to Grady.
Okay. So she left in an ambulance, I take it?
Yes, yes, sir.
Knives, the most
Okay.
deadliest of
All
all
right.
weapons. We've all
Um,
learned that for close range combat.
Mr. Hall, I am going to start with you since you're the lower case number, position 19.
Oh, that's a dude. I thought it was a
Mr.
woman.
Green has testified that he was not present for the altercation, just the aftermath. Do you have any questions for Mr. Green, given that testimony? And you'll still have an opportunity to suggest questions for Ms. Woods after you hear Ms. Woods testify, if that affects who you think the better person to ask something would be or something of that nature.
I think Thomas should ask him the questions, honestly.
Damn them on Facebook.
Okay. And you have yielded the floor to him. I'll place you back on mute for the moment. Mr. Simmons, if you can come back on camera and
It's
unmute
gonna be like
for me,
holding a
please.
baby's hand across the street.
Mr.
this
Green's
whole
testimony
trial.
today is that he was not present at the incident when Ms.
Excuse me,
Woods was
hearing.
injured. Given that, and that we still
Good to see
will be
everybody.
hearing from Ms. Woods, do you have any questions you want me to go ahead and ask Mr. Green?
Wow, look at Donna. Donna got all the info. Donna
What type
is
of
the
question I'm
Creed
supposed to ask?
insider.
It's hard to say. If there's some part of the story that wasn't covered that you think needs to be covered or something that needs to be clarified, sometimes somebody might say something and the other party just didn't hear it or didn't understand it and would want
Okay.
something repeated. So something like that.
Comment
A lot
of
of
the day
questions about what he said, actually.
right there.
Um,
Okay.
Swarthy. I don't never expose
so
your
did he or
sources,
did he
Donna.
not move my belongings from in the house outside of the house? He tampered with my belongings multiple times.
Uh-huh.
All right. Mr. Green, did you ever remove any of Mr. Simmons's personal belongings from the home?
No, never outside the home. No,
Okay. Where did
I
you
thought he
move
was up
them?
there. I can still hear him
I
talking in my
didn't move
head.
him. He stopped me
Where were you trying to move them?
back to where it was in the first place, on the back porch.
Is this in reference to the dog crate?
Yes.
Okay. And so you were trying to put it on the back.
Okay, so there's a
porch, is your
dog in
testimony.
play too. Maybe the dog stabbed somebody.
Yeah, but we had an agreement beforehand. We had an agreement about this dog cage being in the kitchen because my child has an open wound on his neck. So their dog sheds a lot. So just didn't want it in the kitchen, didn't want it in the living room.
Poor baby.
And I only asked him out of respect. And that was when all the fire came.
All right. So he says he was trying to put the dog cage on the porch,
Just
which is
clear it
about
off.
as much of an answer as you're going to get. We can quibble about whether that's inside the home or outside the home, but we all know what a porch is. So, but I can tell everybody this portion of the conflict between the two of y'all is not the
Handsome.
crux of what we're here to discuss today. So I think the focus
Okay.
is probably going to be much more on the incident with Miss Woods,
I
which
don't know
Mr.
about
Green
that.
has said he was not here for.
Alan.
So given that, do you have any other questions unrelated to the dog cage for Mr. Green?
So there's a dog cage, a dog that sheds a lot of hair, a
Did
baby with an
Your
open neck.
did the
wound.
mother of your child, her friend, and your aunt not jump us? Because they definitely jumped us.
Us who?
Assault us first.
Who?
Well, let me ask you a quick clarifying question. Was Mr. Green present to see it happen?
He wasn't. That's why I'm confused on how he could even possibly speak on it. And he wasn't there.
Well, what he said is he came afterwards and he saw that she had a stab wound on her chest.
Yeah,
And
but
the
he was
other one had
fired.
slashes on her arm. And so that's the extent of what he can say because he didn't witness it otherwise. And what she tells him is hearsay. It's for her to
Okay.
testify to.
Well, then I have no more questions for Ortega because he wasn't there. He can't answer any questions factually.
Makes sense.
Oh,
Okay.
attorney at law.
Very good. So, Miss Woods, this is going to be your opportunity to testify. You have a prompt to unmute on your screen.
Now they all have open wounds. Dog hairs flying everywhere.
All right. And Mr. Green, we'll place you on mute so that there's not an echo or reverb. So you'll be on mute, Mr. Green. Miss
Shouldn't. I got
Woods-
headphones on. I feel like it's probably.
Oh, okay. I didn't know where my
Terminator.
sound was coming out of. Sometimes that's what echoes and
It probably
causes
is
feedback.
echoing.
Okay.
Um,
all right.
All right, Miss Woods, you have been sworn in. There's been some testimony given by Mr. Green that he found you injured on a particular day. Can you talk us through what happened?
I came home from a restaurant and everybody started arguing. Then that's when my friend, she I guess Thomas walked in her face, and everybody was hitting at
I'm
them.
sorry, who did what now?
My friend Nene, she was
Okay.
she got to stay up there also. But yeah, everybody was arguing at first, and then Thomas walked in her face, and that was it. She started swinging. That was the first thing I saw.
So you said Thomas got in whose face?
Nene
Nene, your friend Nene's face.
Yes.
And then what happened after
Is that
that?
her whole name, Nene?
swinging, everyone was swinging.
Okay. So
Something about his mom, keep the mom name out his mouth or something. I don't know. That's what I heard, and all I know is everybody was swinging. That's it. But the his aunt wasn't. She wasn't fighting. She was trying to break it up.
and when you say his aunt,
But she
who's-
ended up getting Tega's aunt. She just ended up getting stabbed by trying to break it up. She wasn't fighting at all.
Okay.
Oh,
And so
good to see you.
and who else was involved? So
It might be
I hate
easy to
use
find
the
out
term
who
side, but in
didn't.
terms of people that were present that
didn't
you
get
were
stabbed
most connected to, it was
at this
you,
point.
Nene, and Mr. Green's aunt. Is that right?
Yeah, but she just was trying. Yeah, those two. But she just was trying to break it up. So I wouldn't include her.
And then
Georgia,
for people that
good to see
would be
you.
best connected or more connected to
God
Mr.
bless you,
Simmons
baby.
and Mr. Hall, or did they have anybody else present at the location at the time?
His mom. That's it.
Okay, is that Mr. Simmons's mom?
She was called over there. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, there we go.
And so what injuries did you sustain?
I have a chest wound, and me trying to block it, I have a cut on my hand also. But as again, I was in the hospital. I had to get my breastbone open because both of my lungs collapsed.
Oh
And
my
so,
God.
I had 2 chest tubes and one in the front, and yeah, I have a large cut going down the middle of my chest, and I have a large one on the right boob.
Now,
How's nobody up on charges?
there was some
charges?
testimony. How long have you been living at the location?
Since everybody moved there, March or April the 1st, I'm not sure which day. it
Okay,
was.
so most of a year.
Boy,
Mr. Green testified
That
that
escalated
everybody
quick.
started falling behind on bills in the fall. So this order
All this
on
was
a
over
temporary
bills?
basis essentially removed
Those
the
were
two of them, I
scissors, by the
believe, from
way,
the property.
kayfabe.
So
Scissors.
would that
The bill, the one that was going on really is okay. So the light bill, we was doing that, and then they said they was gonna do the Wi-Fi. So we ended up having to get money on the Wi-Fi, and that pushed us back with the light bill, so that the light was off. So upset. The lights are.
Oh,
We
that
sitting in the
is
house
sad, Ricky.
all day with no lights.
okay? So is there a circumstance here where you or Mr. Green or both move on from this apartment to somewhere else that's more affordable, or where bills are more affordable?
It just was we was fine. It just was those little circumstances, the
Little
Wi-Fi
stabbing.
and the lights. But we had the lights, but they told us they was gonna take care of the Wi-Fi. That was it. No other problems.
Well, the
with
Wi-Fi
it.
has to be cheaper than the lights,
Okay,
right?
so it wasn't like a struggle to make rent.
That
or
wasn't
anybody
our
facing
li- yeah, the
eviction.
Wi-Fi
It
not
was
in-
just
The
month to
Wi-Fi
month.
not in our name. That's in Henry's name.
She's incredibly calm. Is the dog going to testify?
Okay,
we're
so how did you get a stab wound?
I'm sorry. You said, how did I get a stab wound?
Yes.
She's laughing at the comments.
The lady came in the house. I didn't see her physically walk in there. His mom. I did not see her walk in there,
His mom.
but I know I saw her. I was looking at her, saw her something in her hand, and I was like, oh my God, she has a knife. So I tried to grab the knife, but it didn't work. So by her noticing that
never
I
works.
seen her with the knife, she hit me in the chest. I tried to block it off, but I couldn't do it. But yeah.
Okay,
She
so-
at first
So
when we
Mr.
first got to the
Simmons'
house,
mom was the one who caused the cut and the stab wound.
yes, she
Where's
had
she
the knife.
at?
She stabbed 3 people.
Okay, and that was you, that was your aunt or Mr. Green's aunt when she was trying to break up the fight, got slashed. And
Yes,
then
and my
what
friend.
happened to Nene?
Yes, she got stabbed in the back and she got one on her arm, I believe.
Okay, was she also transported to the hospital to the best of your knowledge?
Yes,
Okay.
all of us was at the hospital.
Same hospital as you?
Yes, Grady.
And do you know when she was released?
She was released that night, I believe.
And
She was
when
able
did
to
you
go
get
home
released?
after that. I got released December the 1st because I had to go under another procedure because my left lung had collapsed, so I had to go back under. So I had surgery on the 18th, and then I had to have it again on that Monday, the following Monday after the 18th.
Okay. Is there anything that you think I should have asked about or that you want to testify about in relation to these acts of violence that I have not properly asked about during your testimony?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. All right. Mr. Simmons, Mr. Hall said that I should funnel questions through you, and so that's what I'm going to do. Mr. Hall,
I'm
you have
sorry.
the ability to
I can mute myself now.
not yet. We may still
Oh.
have some questions for you. Mr. Hall, you have the ability to raise your virtual hand if there's a question that comes into your head that during the questioning portion of this, and you just don't have, that you didn't think you would need to ask. But,
Artist surrendering.
Mr. Simmons, do you
said
have
situation.
questions for Miss Woods based on her testimony?
Yes, I do. So Brittany, you don't remember having weapons?
You're all caught up.
I don't
Thrown-
have a weapon time.
Why are you talking during my why I'm asking the question?
I was answering your question.
Easy.
I wasn't done. Did you or did you not have a stool, throw computer monitors, keyboards? You don't remember jumping, you don't remember Nene getting in my face and hitting me? You don't remember any of that?
So let me try to break these down into a few individual questions. And Ms. Woods, I'm going to ask this about you,
First
and then I'm going
question
to ask
is,
this about other members of your
why are you
party in
talking
reference
during
to
his talking
Mr.
time?
Green's aunt and in reference to Nene. Did you throw any household items during this altercation?
No.
Okay. Did any members of your party have anything like a stool or electronics or anything
Like-
of that nature that might have been swung? or
No, not of
thrown?
my knowledge. If they did, I did not see it. Because as soon as I got stabbed, I went into my room to call the
And
police.
do you feel like that
Good move.
in the chronology of this fight, do you feel like that happened fairly early and the fight carried on without you, or do you feel like that happened?
No,
toward the-
it didn't. It didn't carry on because everyone they left and got in the car
That's what
and
I'm
went
thinking,
somewhere. I
Jay.
don't know where they went.
Mom is in
Then they
jail.
came back. So I don't know. After it happened, I came back in the living room. Everyone was gone. Rushed off to get in the car, and that was it. I came outside because I was sitting on the phone with the ambulance, and that's when I seen them go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. That was it. I didn't see anybody on my end pick up a weapon.
What if they did? They're kind of in their right,
All
aren't they?
right.
When
So
somebody
she
has
says
a
she didn't
knife.
see anybody with anything, Mr. Simmons. Do you have any other questions for this
It's
witness?
surprising anything bad happened, right, Stephanie? We got that many people living together.
No, I have no more questions for her.
All right. Ms. Woods, do you, I think Mr. Green already said no, if I remember correctly, but you didn't have any witnesses besides yourself that you intended to have testify. Is that
I
correct?
do have some questions though.
I don't.
Questions for who?
She's
Mr.
at
Green?
work. At the moment.
Who's at work?
All right. Well, if they're okay, so nobody I need to look for in the waiting room then.
Mm-mm.
So, okay. All right. Mr. Green, you said that you had questions, but we're not, I'll let you unmute to explain.
Somebody stabs
but
me,
this
there's
is
gonna be
not
a
a
stool
portion for
sample,
you to
all
ask
right.
questions quite yet, I don't think. So what were the questions and for who?
I just wanted to ask why they couldn't find the mother's weapon.
Well, if you have questions for Mr. Hall or Mr. Simmons, that'll come later. So I'll check back in with you about that. All right.
Somebody hid the knife.
Um,
It's in the conservatory. Go look there.
all right, Mr. Hall, I've sent you a prompt to unmute. All parties have been sworn
It's
in.
some
You
of the
have the ability to
sloppiest-
testify where you can exercise your right to remain silent as you so choose. Understand that testimony that anybody gives in a case can
Sloppy
be used
court.
against them in other proceedings.
Welcome. Good to see you, Matt.
Would you like to testify today, Mr. Hall?
Yes.
And what would you like to tell us about the incident where Miss Woods alleged that she was stabbed and others were cut?
Well, before, I don't know if I should start at the stabbing or like the build up. Well, not the build up of that day.
That's
Mhm.
you. Yeah, the day is fine. I'm assuming that
Go
that'll-
ahead.
that'll be a
Okay.
fairly short path. So sure.
So that day, me and Thomas, we were in the room watching a movie, and that's when we heard
were
Mr.
watching
Green
The
messing
Notebook
with Thomas's dog
together.
cage. So Thomas got up, he went in there, and he told him to let go of it. He wasn't even being aggressive towards him. And Ortega was like, y'all went up there and told the leasing office people all that stuff. We some police ass niggas.
Whoa, wow.
He would have hit us, but all we're gonna do is call the cops. And so then that's when he left. And we had went to the dog park because we was like, we not even trying to be here for the night. We just wanted to leave. So then his mom had came, picked us up. We went back to the house. And that's when we seen Brittany, her friend, and his aunt go into the house. And so that's when his mother, she sent us in. We went in to just grab a couple clothes to wash and the food for Thanksgiving to cook and stuff.
Okay.
And his aunt tried to talk to me, saying she wanted to try and mediate the situation. So at that point, I was telling her, it's really, I don't know.
Oh, are you shitting me? I don't know why y'all just don't pause it. That would make plenty of sense. Pause it and talk. And this is why we don't pause it and talk, people. Because of stuff just like that. You might be watching some other lawyers talking about this, that, and the other. But I can promise you it's pre-recorded. It's not live. This was live. And because it was live, we'll never know what happened. We don't know where the knife went. We don't know any of that stuff. Why? Because it was live. Maybe it's because he used the N-word like that. I don't know. Maybe that's the reason they took it down. Maybe it's because we all said the knife was hidden inside the woman. Maybe. Anything's possible. But when you're dealing with live court, that's what happens. You run into these situations just like that. That's okay. We bounce on. We roll on. We do what we got to. We go somewhere else. Right? Right, Mikey? That's right. Right, Credence?
If you cannot afford an attorney, I can appoint one for you. Did you fill out an affidavit?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you swear or affirm everything in your affidavit is the truth?
Yes.
All right. How long have you lived in Knoxville?
All my life.
Okay, and your affidavit says that you were employed at McDonald's.
Yes, ma'am.
McDonald's.
How much do you make there?
It's Mac
It says
tonight.
you get paid bi-weekly. What was your last paycheck?
$13.50. $13.50.
How much do you get in your check?
This last check was $950.
Wow,
every other
good for
week.
you. That's good
Yes,
money
ma'am.
at the McDonald's. $9.50.
Okay, let me check your criminal record here.
All right, I'm gonna
Okay.
check your temperature.
Okay.
Hold on. Well, we'll watch some of this while we
2000
jump somewhere
theft
else
charge
that's live as
conviction.
well.
2007 vandalism conviction, driving without license, 2010 conviction, driving while suspended conviction, 2011, 2013 simple possession
She's on a roll.
conviction and attempt to commit simple possession, and there was a conviction for theft in 2014 and shoplifting conviction 2014, simple possession conviction 2015. Okay, and now we've got some drug charges.
Drug charges. Yeah.
All right, and the only charge that I have right now looks like some other
Uh-huh.
charges were from November.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and so
She's got
there's one
charges from
charge now,
November. She's
burglary
got
other than
charges from
habitation,
November.
meaning not a house.
Right.
That's a D felony. That supposedly happened at the Walmart
Yes.
on December the 8th. That was yesterday. Defendant was observed inside the Walmart. on
December the
County
8th.
Highway,
Woo, this
selecting
is old.
merchandise, placing it in a shopping cart, and then selecting clothing that she had placed in the shopping cart and concealing it inside a purse that she'd also selected. Defendant proceeded to self-checkout when she rang up the items, except for the merchandise she had concealed. Defendant exited the store, passing all points of sale without making an attempt. to
She
buy.
had a lot of
You were
good stuff,
trespassed
quality
back in
merchandise.
2014, and that you did intend to deprive the business of $115.90. So now you're charged with a D felony. Let me see what it says here. You got prior arrest for theft in Sevier County, 2012, and you've been arrested in the last 6 months. Okay, that means I can't put you on pretrial.
No.
Also because you're charged with a felony.
Look, man, you're kind
Okay.
of asking for it. I'm
Well,
not
I
saying
don't
it's
mind.
all
I'm gonna
right,
give you a appearance bond of $2,000. That's
but we got
$200 to a bonding
bad
company, okay?
kids. Do you just let them,
I
take
don't
every
know if
chance
you
they
have any
can?
holds or anything. I'm gonna have to look that up.
No
I
holes
don't.
on this lady. She's holeless. Do us a favor, which I'll need to really bad. Right? I might need that over here, Matt.
Okay, no, you don't. And it says Mitchell Harper was your attorney. You want me to put
Yes,
him back on
ma'am.
your case?
We're gonna jump from here to
Yes.
Judge
Okay, do you know
Tabby
his
when
phone number?
she's done with this
Yes,
young
ma'am.
lady.
Great. Okay, there's a $50 administrative fee that goes to the general sessions clerk when we appoint an attorney. And that needs to be paid by December 20th.
Okay.
And let's see here. Today is, I can't believe it's the 9th of December already.
I can't believe it's really
But you turn around and it's another month
I
gone.
know it's time. Yeah, it's a different
Okay.
day.
All right, so we got
so
Mitchell
many
Harper, we got
few
that
at this point. There were so
information.
many few Christmas shoplifting days in the year, but now they're all gone. Every last
Let me
one of
Put this
them.
on the computer here. Mitchell Harper. Okay, and we're gonna do just this one case.
Yeah.
Would you state your name, Mr. Duncan?
Corey Duncan.
Thank you.
Mr.
We're here
Duncan
today
and the pooper.
for a PCC on a 3-count matter, accessory after the fact to homicide, conspiracy to commit arson, and to commit the disinterment or mutilation of corpses. All right,
Holy
so
crap.
You have counsel and we're here. What's our status?
Your Honor, yesterday, I was able to obtain a police report. I was reviewing it. I noticed that we have a conflict with a potential material witness in this matter. So I'd ask the court to allow us to withdraw and appoint alternative counsel for
Yeah.
Mr. Duncan.
Mr. Gotti's out of
All
one. He
right.
part of this crazy bastard.
This is a co-defendant. I think there's another case. What about the preliminary exam? Is that a separate one that was held today?
That'd be corpses.
On the Florence assault, Your Honor, that was held today, was bound over on count 2.
Okay, so so that was bound over. So today we have, what date? I imagine we'll need to go to either January 10th or January 17th. Which date would you want?
I don't know which date the other matter was set for pretrial.
I believe it's January 11th, but that's up in Conlon's Court.
Yeah, but that's up in circuit. So this is still here.
Oh, we can try and make it the 10th, Judge, and if it needs to get moved by the new council, they'll certainly do it.
All right, that makes sense. This will be before Judge Washington.
God, he said, let me out. I don't want anything to do with this.
And that will be on January 10th, 9 o'clock.
Wow, really, Lisa? See, that's why you guys are so important
Judge, is
to
this
this
being
show.
set for exam or PCC? Because that's a Tuesday.
That would be,
To have it as a Tuesday.
I'm just looking at the date here. That would be set for a preliminary exam.
Yeah, maybe we should set it for the Thursday, which would be.
I need those titles.
You want to
I
check
could do
this?
this-
You want to keep it with a PCC?
I think that would be good, Judge, and let the newly appointed council decide which way they want to litigate it.
Okay, so we'll keep it for PCC then, and that would be on the 19th then. A Thursday, and that would be Judge Simpson still. January 19th.
Man, we got you just in time for this piece of crap.
9 o'clock. PCC.
I bet Jessica got some nice gifts for Christmas. Killed fiance, drove around the corpse for 3 days. Then his friend in Detroit helped him burn the car and the body. Well, class.
So putting down appoint new council.
New council. This guy doesn't want him.
All right,
at
Mr.
all.
Duncan, the probable cause conference is adjourned to the 19th in front of Judge Simpson at 9 o'clock.
Agreed.
That is on Zoom. And you will have new counsel coming in, appointed through the MIDC process. They'll be in touch with you before that date.
Okay,
Okay?
Beautiful
Bond
outfit.
is continued. You're still in custody.
all right, thank you.
I thought
Thank
he was
you.
in a
Yeah.
straight jacket
Thank
at
you.
first, by the way. I was like, oh, he's wearing a white straight jacket, but
And the next one.
maybe he got that for Christmas in jail. Christmas in jail.
All right. This is also in custody. That we have an in custody. Flurry will be the next one.
Was Mr. Jones in front
Lori,
of
I'll head that way.
Thank you.
Jonathan Jones was in front of an old timey store, it would appear. He's not here. And we got who else we got here? Look at this. Elizabeth is here now. We've seen Elizabeth before. Judge Tabby loves to mute the
Definitely
mic.
done with the PCCs. But I don't know what the rest of this will be.
Judge Tabby. I feel like Judge Tabby got some nice mittens and bedroom shoes for Christmas. Please do us a favor and like this video, by the way. I'm going to talk while they're not talking and tell everybody 5 days a week we try to catch live court. Every once in a while we'll spike in some pre-recorded stuff, but we do the best we can to catch the live ones. Just like we had a while ago, a stabbing among 4 friends.
Your Honor,
Now mutilated
Yes.
body.
are we able to do Steinman and Wright right after Flurry? They're all in the same unit?
Sure.
Unit.
We
Okay.
could do Steinman and Wright. Yeah, if you want to do that one.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
I've heard of that, Chris. Very famous, right? Well, I got a second too. I'll also let you guys know I'm launching a new channel called Poor Sports League. I know if you love court, you'll love sports, right? It won't be just regular sports. It'll be your off the wall type sports with a little bit of sports news, spiked in here and there, a little bit of legitimate stuff with just a little bit of a twist. Check out Poor Sports League as we're launching a video today over there. So, yeah, I appreciate a little support. First time I've ever talked about it. So, is that what he told him? Well, that's, boy, I can only imagine what Judge Simpson's response was. Flawless. I like women with makeup on every once in a while. Sometimes I feel like you're trying to hide something from me. Don't forget, 4:05 today, we got to chase Chicago Tuesday. That's right. Chicago Tuesday kicks off today at 4:05. All things Chicago, from the Windy City right on to your television. Make sure you're here to enjoy that as we prepare to go to this cell block.
All right, and who do we have here? You are Mr. Wright?
No, I'm Mr. Flurry.
Mr. Wrong.
You're you're Mr. Flurry?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Flurry.
All right.
Mr.
So
Mick
let me get that
Flurry.
file. Okay.
He's
All right,
locking himself.
this is State of Michigan versus Ezra Joseph Allen Fleury, file 5586. This is a PCC.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Elizabeth Andery, Assistant Prosecuting Attorney on behalf of the people.
Thank you.
Andrew Bandis, Assistant Public Defender with and on behalf of Mr. Fleury.
Miss Elizabeth here.
And what's our status on this file?
Your Honor, I discussed the case with Mr. Fleury. He is interested in trying to resolve it at the PCC stage. We're not there yet. In addition, I need to ask for an adjournment for video discovery. I let Ms. Andre know that, and I will follow up after court today with a request or a reminder that we're asking for that video discovery.
Okay, so that could take a couple weeks to get that at most, and then so I can set it for the 19th in front of Judge Simpson for PCC.
I'd hate to know. I was going to spend months and months in jail
But this is still
while
a
they're
PCC.
doing discovery.
Yeah. Okay.
That makes sense, Your
Hallelujah.
Honor.
All
Also,
right.
my client would
Thank
like me
you.
to address his bond if I may.
Yes, you can. Go ahead, Mr. Banis.
Mr. Fleury is asking for a personal bond, or if that's not granted, a reduction in his bond, perhaps a reduction to 10%. It's currently at $10,000.
I can see that.
He has a stable residence with a family member. This is the only case holding him in jail. Count one is based on alleged cocaine residue. He has a job, he tells me, supporting a child.
Cocaine.
And also, although there is an MDOC hold, I spoke with Mr. Fleury yesterday about it. And my understanding is MDOC would not be picking him up. And that he has already been violated. because
Sure,
of this
Chris.
Charge. So I think, in other words, I don't think we're going to lose him, so to speak, to MDOC custody in the meantime.
All right, let me hear from Mr. Andrew.
Thank you, Your Honor. First, there
Yes.
is an MDOC hold
Yes.
on him. I've never heard of MDOC not picking up on a warrant like that. I believe that if he got a PR bond, he would just be transferred to the Michigan Department of Corrections. Also, his bond is set where it is based on his failure to appear. He failed to appear. Let's see, he was arraigned on October 7th, and then he failed to appear for court on November 3rd.
That's such a good question. I'm going to pause that right there. Yes, I do. I knew about the whole thing with Dana White and the UFC before it was even announced. I'm good friends with JT Tilley, who is the king of the slap over there at Slap Fighting Championship. He is a partner now with the UFC, and the UFC has launched their own slap league. They'll also be doing like an Ultimate Fighter type deal with it. So I'll be covering a lot of that, and hopefully maybe we'll be JT can hook me on up and we'll have Dana White on Poor Sports League. So a lot of big things happening in the coming year. Keep an eye out for that. So yeah, I wanted to pause it because people yell at me for talking over it.
A bond was set at $10,000. He was arraigned by Magistrate Fink on December
The
19th.
Finkster.
And the bond was set at 10,000 cash surety. We would ask that the bond remain set where it is.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
All right, I will add a 10% privilege to it, but I'll keep that bond. You'd have to post $1,000.
It will, Billy.
So that
No doubt
might
in
be
my
helpful. I don't know. So if he does post, and that would be something that
Hey, where are the
we
white
could deal
women
with,
at?
but he won't be, even if he posts, if they still have a hold, they'll still hang on to it. So I'll do that and I'll set it for the 19th, 2023 at 9 o'clock. PCC.
Thank you, Jan.
Thank you.
We'll see all kinds of
Who are you bringing next?
Chicago style. I guess maybe today's poll question would be Chicago related. Maybe. $100% going mainstream. And if things go the way they should, maybe you'll see your old friend Mikey working right along with those guys in the coming year. Anything's possible, right? Elizabeth is always 1 second away from hysterical laughter. We'll jump over here until they come back.
Swear or affirm everything in your affidavit is the truth.
Yes.
All right, this says that you are currently not employed. Do you get disability or
surprise.
employment?
No.
Nice tats.
Own anything of value you could sell to hire a lawyer?
No.
Okay.
Old
How long have you lived
doubloons.
in Knoxville?
Stamp
I live
collection.
in Caryville, Campbell County. I've lived there for 6 years, but I've lived.
Thank
Heading
you.
back.
This is People versus Steinman, file number
Oh, shoot.
1002.
All right, so we seen this guy before. This guy, we covered him on he was on with Fink. Real quick, Deborah, for God's sakes, nothing but love from you. Big hallelujah. This was the guy who claimed he had the sunglasses on then too, has them on now. He claimed that he owns a gas station. He also claims he owns a hotel. They kicked him out of the hotel he claims he owns. A very fun guy, very nice guy. Will that continue? We'll have to find out today. So let's jump back in on that.
To FY.
Yeah.
Rob Dodd on behalf of the people.
Andrew Urbanus, Assistant Public Defender, with and on behalf of Mr. Steinman. Your Honor, we're here for a show cause hearing for a tether violation. I believe a preliminary examination is set for January 10th.
Yes.
However, after I did meet with Mr. Steinman and discuss the case, another assistant public defender also spoke with him previously.
He loves
We have
jazz.
some concerns about his mental health situation. I followed up with our chief deputy public defender about the issue and concluded it was necessary to submit the proposed order for a competency exam and evaluation relating to criminal responsibilities. I believe the court has those.
I do have those. All right. Any comment from the people?
No, Your Honor.
All right. So based on Mr. Banis's decision here, our court will sign these orders to allow that to occur. So I am ordering both.
Well, they're ordering both those. Nancy, hallelujah. Thank you. If you remind me a few days ahead before it starts, I can do my best to make sure we try and cover. If this is something you guys, excuse me, if you think we should follow from beginning to end, which is typically not what we do, but I'll do whatever. I can come on early and watch this with you, and Cree can join us when he has time or whatever. If that's something you guys really want to do, I'd be willing to do it. just maybe I'll put up a poll or something. We'll talk about it. But if so, let me know. Thank you. Thank you. That's them just being quiet, by the way.
To undergo competency exam, and if competent, of course, they will then move on to the criminal responsibility aspect.
I want my daddy's records. Why are we just now looking for competency on this guy? We've known he's been nutty.
That would require us canceling the preliminary examination that was set for January 10th. And I would assume we are at this point just going to set it out for 60 days for a competency evaluation.
That's my understanding.
We're dragging our
I
feet on
believe
this one.
that's necessary and appropriate, Your Honor.
Thank you. So this will be now adjourned for competency hearing. We need to go out 2 months, so the end of February.
I'm very surprised they
Or
let him
1st
have
of
those
March.
shades the entire time, man. Every time we've seen this guy appear in court, he's
Yeah,
wearing
on
shades.
this would be on a
Is he one of the
no,
Blues
th-
Brothers,
well, it was
really,
set for
secretly?
exam. Today's just a, so really this is not a
It's a show cause for the.
yeah, it's a show cause. So we can just set it with the same date. So this will be on a normal date that was already in front of Judge Burke. So we'll set it in front of Judge Burke in 60 days
Mayor, good to see you.
for exam. Yeah. I don't know who's coming up there.
Yeah, put it right on it. I'm over here making
Since it was
videos.
already assigned to Judge Burke.
I'm over here making
I'm not
videos
gonna
about
undo the assignment.
pitch black matches at Royal Rumble. Has anybody seen that? It's gonna be a pitch
We don't
black
have a date
match.
going out that far. Let me check. Ms. Rocker, do you have the preliminary exam schedule?
I do, if you give me 1 second to pull it up.
Rocker
Okay.
with the
Who are we
shocker.
looking for, Judge Burke?
We're looking for Judge Burke at the end of February
I'll
or
take
first
all the help
of,
I can get.
March for a competency hearing. February 28th, looks like? Okay, Doreen's checking. She looks like it's February 28th.
That's not a Judge Burke day.
No, it's not? Okay.
No, not
That
a
would
ju-
be, all right. What is a Judge Burke day coming in around that time?
February 14th.
Okay, that'll work because it's like
I like it, guy. I like it.
just over 60 days and they're not, and of course, if it does come in sooner, then we know that it'll be scheduled sooner on his docket, but so we'll continue the assignment to his docket and we'll set
They really
the
must be.
competency hearing to February 14th, 2023 at 9:00.
He is not blind.
Judge Burke.
Let me
That's
go
a
ahead.
competency hearing.
Let me go ahead and
Competency hearing, right.
dispel that one.
And then the January 10th, we can excuse the witnesses and that's all.
Yes, I'm gonna put a note.
If he was blind, could we ever charge him with trespassing? Because he could just say, damn it, I didn't know I was there. If I'd only known I was there, I promise you I would not have trespassed. I mean, it seems like a get out of jail free card if you're blind. Blind and homeless. Do you really know?
January 10th, 2023 preliminary exam canceled by court.
Can I also get a note for gym class?
So you can excuse the witnesses and we'll deal with the competency first, and then we can reschedule exam and show cause once we figure that out.
The 3 Bs.
Bond is continued unless there's somebody who wants to bring that up.
JG, see, JG already
Nothing
doing the
further
Lord's
from me,
work.
thank you.
Thank you, JG.
Okay, thank you.
I'd completely
Bond
forgot
is
already.
continued. All right, Mr. Steinman, you'll get your, you'll be scheduling you for an interview with the Forensic Center. Thank you.
I'm glad you asked that because Poor Sports League will be dropping a video about that today and probably just about around 4 o'clock. So if you're wondering what that means, go ahead and subscribe now.
And Judge Tabby, it's been an honor serving in front of you. Enjoy your
Thank you.
well-timed deserved off.
Enjoy being with you all these years. It's been
Is
great.
Judge
Thank you
Tabby
so much.
retiring?
You'll be seeing me around. I'll be visiting and still doing stuff. So take care.
Judge
See ya.
Tabby
Bye.
retiring
Take
his
care. Yep.
farewell tour. And we're here for it.
And I guess we can do right if he's still in the same unit.
I said, how. It's a warming. You give me a ticket, you give me a flight, you give me a place to stay, and I will be there. You can count on me, your friend. I mean, if that was the case, that would be awful. But he's not blind. He's not blind. No more than this guy is. I can't believe here we were on the moment.
All right, this is the matter of State of Michigan versus Asante Lee Wright, file
Broken news.
1361. This matter is set for, I think it's just a
Hi, Carol.
PCC.
Jessica Blanchard on behalf of people.
This is the guy? Oh, shit.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Stuart Collins.
All right, so this is the guy who drove around with dead body in the back of his car. How long do you drive around for? You say three days? Is that what I'm hearing, Kay? 3 days he drove around with the body in the car? I mean, maybe. If he had a body in the trunk, I'm guessing so. He walked in holding his junk. I saw that too. So this is our absolute nut job. 3 days. Fiance is decomposing corpse in the back car. Does he say anything? Do they allow him to say anything? I really doubt it, but let's see.
On behalf of Mr. Wright, who hopefully will be joining us shortly.
Yeah, I see him there.
Yes.
Would you state your name,
What's
Mr.
up?
Wright?
Asante Wright.
Thank you.
Just haven't talked about it any, so nobody knows it's there.
Probable
Hey
cause
now.
conference, Mr. Collis. What's our status on that?
I like
Your
that.
Honor, I've spoke to Ms. Blanche in this matter, and apparently there is a great deal of discovery yet to be coming on this matter, including some videos, etc. Obviously, I don't have those at this juncture, both because of the holidays, and I'm sure that it wasn't all prepared quite yet. Given that, I don't know what my stance in this case is, other than to seek an adjournment for, I guess, how long do you think that's going to take, Jessica?
I would
You
guess
call
a
me
month
Miss
out. We
Blanche,
still
you
need the
son of a
autopsy
bitch.
protocol too, Stuart.
Okay, yeah, so then a month out, I would say, Your Honor.
All right, this being a homicide matter, obviously you want to get as much together early as possible. So let me see what we have for a PCC.
He's looking for Creed too.
I guess it would be a Thursday for Judge Simpson. The 19th wouldn't be enough time. So if we went to
Look at this chick coming in.
we could try the 26th just to put it out 30 days because he is in custody and just see where we are with that. Is that
Certainly.
okay? Probable conference adjourned for good cause for discovery issues and autopsy protocol. Some things beyond the court's control. So this will be before Judge Simpson on January 26th. And then he can see where this all is, 9 o'clock.
Thank you very much, Your Honor. And
Thank you.
Rod stole my thunder there. It's going to say the same thing. It's been a pleasure for 20 years.
No, enjoyed working with you so much. I'll still be around here. You'll still see me around. Maybe we'll redevelop our Ipsy bar stuff and I can get
Well,
started.
I was placed in charge of that, but Mr. Barr seems to have run a little with, so I've
Little
coordinated
shop talk,
John
everybody.
Barr about that.
Yeah.
what-
So I was looking forward to that again, once my wife can be around. That's why I didn't have a big party or anything either, because of the nature
Mr.
of
Wright's happy to be
all
here and
the
a part
same
of it
stuff.
too.
Okay, thanks a lot, Stu. We'll see you.
Thank
man.
you. See you.
Take care.
Tell him congratulations, Mr. Wright. Say it. Say it. Say congratulations, Judge. Enjoy your time off. Well deserved.
Yep. And we have some more in custody. We have Jalecia.
Silverstone,
Harris
Assimi.
Yeah.
He's getting
and
this.
McGuire, and I will have them both for you.
Okay, thanks.
The great Judge Tabby stepping down. I wonder who will walk in his shoes. Who will be El Numero Uno, top dog, the big cheese?
Do we have a matter we can handle with people not in custody? We have a PCC on Joseph Franks.
Yeah, we can call the Franks matter as well as Latara Jones. That will be we're not able to proceed on that exam.
Okay.
Okay, so you want to wait on that for a minute?
Guess we're gonna have to. Got the dog barking.
You want me to call that, Mr. Childers?
Yeah, that would be great.
Okay, thanks. We'll call State versus Joseph Franks, file 5219.
She's still on the bus.
Andrew
freezing to
Childers
death.
appearing on behalf of the people.
Michael Gaddy on behalf of Mr. Franks, Your Honor.
Thank you. All right, this is a PCC today. And people are not able to proceed, is that correct?
This is the Franks matter, Your Honor.
Yes.
Yes.
Is Mr. Franks present?
No.
Oh,
I
I
do-
see.
I
don't
do
know.
not see Mr. Franks, Your Honor. I
Oh,
have called
I
him and emailed him. I know he is a
busy man.
sometimes resident of the Delanis Center, but I can't explain his whereabouts.
All right, so you're asking for a bench warrant?
I'd ask for a show cause, Your Honor, but Mr. Childers may disagree.
I would ask for a bench warrant, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right. Any requested amount of bond?
I'd leave it up to your discretion.
Okay, let me see what it first came in at.
Let's roll the dice at $10,000.
This was a personal bond. Right now, we don't know what is occurring with this. I will set 10,000 cash surety or 10%.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Your Honor, that's my last case. Happy New Year
great.
and congratulations.
Thank you.
It's always been
Enjoyed working with you in all your various roles, Mr. Gaddy.
thank you, Your Honor. Take care.
You take care too.
It's such a beautiful day here at court.
Happy New Year, Mr. Childers.
Thank you, Mike. You too.
F you.
And Your Honor was the
Andrew.
Latara Jones, which is the separate preliminary examination that we
Okay.
cannot proceed.
Atari Jones.
He called him Mikey. I like that.
All right, we'll get that one too. State versus Latari Jones.
She is freezing to death.
1666.
Andrew Childers appearing on behalf of the people.
Sandra White on behalf of Latara Jones. Can you state your name for the record, Ms. Jones?
Her phone is frozen, Your Honor.
Well, we heard static, but she's there.
Good enough for me.
Yeah, I think I see her there. Can you hear us, Miss Jones?
Yes.
All right, I don't know if you're connected to audio. Can you speak and say your name? Oh, you're connected, but it's a bad connection. I know she's there. All right, what's our status on this file?
Your Honor, today's the date and time set for the preliminary examination. At this time, the people are unable to proceed.
Your Honor, we make a motion to dismiss.
Oh.
All right, people unable to proceed. The defense motion is granted, Ms. Jones. This case is dismissed without prejudice.
Walking,
To the
baby.
people refiling the matter, recharging it, should they believe they can proceed at some point in the future. Right now, it is dismissed. And all orders are rescinded.
Cut off that bad connection and hit the streets. You're,
You're
free to
leave
go.
the hearing.
Thank you, Your Honor, and thank you for everything and serving in front of you. As
Thank you.
I'm working with you as a clerk and as an attorney.
Yes, you too, Ms. White.
Okay.
Enjoyed working with you. We'll see you around here.
All right. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
A lot of love for the judge today. Tabby is loved. He is loved.
Bond is returned.
She had so much frost in that microphone we couldn't hear. her.
What next can we do? Do we have another? We have Miss Harris.
Miss Harris. We'll do Miss Harris and then we're out.
Yeah.
We'll see you back at 4 or 5 as soon as we're done with Miss
State
Harris. though.
versus Jalicia Harris, file number 5144.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Elizabeth Andery, Assistant Prosecuting Attorney on behalf of people.
Thank you. Good afternoon.
Andrew Bannis with and on behalf of Ms. Harris. Ms. Harris, could you state your name, please, for the record?
Jalicia Harris.
Thank you.
She's loving it.
Your Honor, we're here at a probable cause conference. I discussed the case with my client and with Ms. Andry. I do believe this is a case with a decent chance of being resolved without an exam or bind over. The offer that I was seeking is not available today for reasons I understand. I'm
True,
not
Carol. True.
taking issue with that. And but I believe Ms. Andry is going to follow up and see if there's something that's available in the future. Also, my client is in custody with an estimated release date of March 19th. So my requested adjournment should not cause her
Yes,
to be in custody
sir.
any longer than she already is. So I'm
Okay.
asking for a PCC. I don't know the next available date, but hopefully sometime in January.
Yeah, I
Thank
can
you,
set
Billy.
the 19th of January.
Thank you very much.
Okay, JCS, 9 o'clock. This will be, probable cause conference.
It would suck to be stuck in jail. I'm sorry. It really would. Well, I think that, yeah, we're going to call it right there. We're going to pull out. We'll make our way down the path. If you haven't already liked this video, please do so. We'll be back at it again tomorrow. 1 o'clock if Creed will be here, but earlier if it's just me. So, Jim, good to see you. Big thank you to our huge providers today. That's right. Each and every one of you that were nice enough to dig deep into the bottom of your pocket, pull something nice out, and say, Mikey, this is for you, kid. Lisa Snoopy, Deborah, and these are my 3 favorite women in the world for today, right now. Nancy, thank you. If you guys would do us a solid, go and subscribe to We Got a Case. There's our case only channel. I know you're already subscribed here. Maybe you're new here. But take a second. I promise. Won't take long. Maybe 2. Maybe 2. 2 seconds to subscribe. Go check out Poor Sports League as it kicks off with its first video today. I'd appreciate that. Until next time.
2 what?
2 seconds, Judge.
$2 cash.
No. 2 seconds to do us a favor. Until next time. Hey, now I'm gonna get some private time here with Miss McGuire. Until next time. Be good to one another. Don't yell at people. Kiss a stranger good morning. Or Kane will show up at your house and take your wife. If you don't want your wife anymore, you can get rid of her.